Well, it seems that I wasn't really all that crazy. Apparently, Morphologist, of all people, pretty much agrees with everything I've been saying all along. Guys, welcome to the channel, and I just saw this from Morphologist, biggest Star Citizen channel. Star Citizen's new inventory design falls short. Yeah, that's a sweet way of putting it. But hey, let's watch this together and react to it.
3.24 is finally out to the P2 for Evocati, which means that I can test it and let you guys know how much it's going to change the game. And oh boy, let me tell you, it is going to be a huge change for everybody because of the inventory changes, and that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. Now I'm going to make a dedicated video for the whole of 3.24 and all of the changes and show you guys some visuals for it, but at the moment, seeing as how it's still in Evocati and still NDA'd, I can't show you any new footage of it, but I will describe for you what's going on with this new inventory system and why I think it might need some rethinking. But if you guys have tried it out for yourself, I also invite you to join the conversation down below in the comment section and let me know what you're thinking about this. And by the way, if by the end you think you like this video and I deserve it, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to show your support. Let's dive into this then. Now, to describe it quickly, what this new inventory system is, we've seen a little bit of a sneak peek on it on ISC. I'll go to that footage now here on the screen. You'll see here that this new cargo screen is actually the same type of inventory screen we're going to have for the kiosks that are going to be scattered. Screen we're going to have for the kiosks that are going to be the same.
All of this garbage. This is so unnatural, so heavy-handed. I mean, why? Why would you have something that looks like out of 30 years ago? Who cares about all of this crap? Just show whatever it is in there, move it around, and period. You don't. Whoever has been making these calls lately, whoever is that took someone else's job that actually knew what they were doing and is doing all of this crap with all of the new inventory system, that bullshit where you have the Doom 1995 Doom layout for moving stuff, and then you have to click on the little arrow so as to hop back into the silhouette and the actual inventory. Dear fucking God, what kind of dumbass comes up with that? And this is on those same lines. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this line here? What is all of this? What are these lines here? What is it that all of this shit means? Why? Dots. Why? None of this is important. None of this is doing anything so as to clarify or give me any feedback or information that is necessary for what I want to do here, which is move stuff around. This is just horrible, bad design.
Same type of inventory screen we're going to have for the kiosks that are going to be scattered around all the landing zones, including our own hubs and the new hangars. This device is how we now interact with our local inventories. Now, to refresh your memory how the current system works, you just hit I anywhere within a landing zone or locations.
Yes, this is what's been there all along. This is what, I mean, this is no invention from CIG. This is every single video game ever. You open the inventory, you have your guy, you drag and drop stuff. That is it. I mean, ideally, we would stack on stuff and we would have move all buttons that actually work, right? But the new thing with the red and your guy stuff here and whatever is all of that shit, Jesus Christ.
Inventory range, and a paper doll menu pops up where you see your character in the center, your inventory for your character on the left, and then the local inventory on the right, and then you can drag and drop. This is again called a paper doll inventory. It's a very basic and standard type of inventory system that a lot of different games use. If you've played, say for example, Escape from Tarkov or any other MMO, you may have seen something really similar. You drag and drop or use a hotkey, and it's quick, straightforward, easy to use, and if you've not played the game before, you can probably figure it out pretty easily. This new system, though, is very different. So now instead of going and hitting I somewhere, you won't see anything when you open your local inventory. You actually have to go to a kiosk, and they start again in your hab or your hangar or anywhere scattered around a landing zone. You go up to it, and interact with it and open a new UI system. In here, you'll see the local inventory on the right and the drawer on the left. The drawer is actually how you're accessing things now in the inventory system. So after accessing your inventory, you drag and drop what you want to the drawer, hit extract, the drawer opens, and then you have the standard paper doll thing open up where you can drag and drop onto your character. So it sort of still exists, but there's a lot of extra steps now to get to it. Now I have a couple problems with this. The first is that it's introducing a lot of friction to the inventory system that I'm not entirely sure needs to be there. I am all for making everything physicalized and making the experience of Star Citizen more immersive as more technologies.
No, you are not. No, you are not. No one is, because everything physicalized would mean everything physicalized. Every fucking thing physicalized. There would be no magic magazines that fill themselves up. You would have to do each of those manually one by one. You would have to clean your guns after shooting them. You would have to actually put on your clothes. They wouldn't just magically appear on you. All of that would have to be exactly that way, because if not, you're compromising. And the moment you're compromising, then the question arises of, okay, so why are you compromising with that, but not compromising with this over there, right? How is it that that works? When is it that you go all physicalized? When you like making me waste time, right? When it's convenient, we don't talk about physicalized things. When it's not convenient for you, we don't talk about certain things of the economy in which normal economies work. You know how normal economies work? If I buy something and I can sell it, then yeah, I can do that even for the big ticket items, like these fucking ships I buy in dealerships. You know what I can actually do in the dealership where I go and buy a car? I can sell the fucking car that I already have as part of the payment. That is pretty standard anywhere in this fucking planet. So all of these things are only realistic, physicalized, and sim when it's convenient for Star Citizen to do one thing and one thing only, which is monetize the shit out of us. And that will include time sync, because what a lot of these people apparently don't understand is time sync is directly linked to the monetization model that they have, which is no gameplay at all. Just make people waste enough time until they get bored and then go to a website and buy a ship, because there's nothing else for you to do. That's why you have so much time sync, because time sync for these people, for this market, for this monetization model, time sync replaces actual gameplay. And it could not be any more clearer than it is now.
Come online, but I have to wonder whether or not you should do something just because you can. The paper doll system, although not perfect in Star Citizen up until now, has been a pretty useful system when it doesn't lag or glitch out. Even without a search feature, dragging and dropping onto your character is really simple and easy to use, especially when you just want to mix and match different types of things for different mission sets and figure out what you want to bring out. Now with all these extra steps, figuring out what you want to wear and switching back and forth takes a lot more, let's say, intention. You have to exactly know what you want to get and go through this clunk.
No, it takes more time. That's all it does. It takes a lot more time to do the exact same damn thing. They know it. That's why they're doing it. It's all about giving you extra steps to delay what you want to do in terms of making something quick and go back to playing. No, instead of now wasting 20 minutes and then play for 5 minutes, now it's going to be wasting 30 minutes or 35 minutes and then go into playing.
UI system to figure out where it is, drag it onto your drawer, and to take it out. This is going to add a lot more time and frustration to an experience that I don't necessarily needs to be this complex. Personally, if it were up to me, I think that going back to the paper doll system and iterating on it would be a better way of doing it. I understand that CIG are trying to make an immersive first-person experience, and they're trying to bring as much immersive technology into the game as possible. But at some point, I think that
that is simply not true. There's nothing realistic about having a bullshit item ATM that just delivers stuff, and I only access. You're basically accessing your inventory through that screen. It's basically the same thing. Let's not lie to ourselves. It's enough that CIG lies to us. Let's not lie to ourselves. It is the same thing as tapping on I in a more convenient manner, as we do now, when you're within the building, when you're within the city in which you have your starting location or wherever it is, accessing local inventory, it's the same thing, but limited to one little fucking screen. Just so as to force me to waste more time. And then not have the convenience of just dragging and dropping. It's not realism. There's no bullshit item ATM in the real world. And even if you have those ATMs all over the place, the way in which they just suddenly appear, and that's the moment in which we just ignore reality. We just just stuff now appears on me. You're not physically storing your gloves and your shoes and your armor in your locker. You don't even have a locker of your own. You don't have a house or hub or apartment or anything of your own in which you store stuff in your gun racks. No, it is all still the same bullshit that you have in any game, which is, but convenience so as to not hinder the enjoyment of actually playing the game. They're just pushing this way too far into ridiculous levels of time sink. Time sink being the only thing they clearly want to achieve with this.
Because you can do something doesn't mean you should do it, and if a system works the way it is, there's no need to try to reinvent the wheel and make something else just because
this oh fuck. This makes me want to puke. This little thing here and just why?
You've got this new tech. Now, I think having the kiosks be your access point for inventory can still be a thing. And I actually really like the cargo aspect to the inventory system because...
Again, no, it's not realistic. It's not realistic in the context of us being in the future where we have tractor beams. You know what you would do in the future? You would have an AI software and a couple of tractor beams on the walls and ceilings, and all of these would move the boxes in just a few seconds, blop, 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 moving it all out of the way. How much does a tractor beam cost in Star Citizen? $400, $800? You're telling me you cannot have 10 of those in an industrial hangar moving things around instantly? Of course you could. It's not because of realism. It's about making you waste as much time as they can. If it was about, oh no, but this is extreme realism. Well, in this realistic world, we have tractor beams that move stuff around. In handheld tools, in bigger gun systems, and attached to our ships. If it can be attached to a Cuddy Black, it can certainly be attached to the walls and ceiling of the hangar, moving stuff around. I mean, Amazon would do that in a fraction of a second if they had that technology. Combining that with AI, moving boxes, I just park my ship, stuff gets moved and sold, that's it. I don't have to waste my entire life moving boxes. But you do that because you're not doing the game. You're not doing real content. There is no exploration. There is no fighting and interacting with the alien races. There's no developing your home. What happened with our bases, with our homes that we were supposed to have? What happened with all of that bullshit that we're told about? Yes, you have your beacon and you have your location, and it's the friendly ones, the more dangerous ones, and the ones that have more. All of that is just talk. They just talk and lie. A lot of lying. And this is what the only thing they really do.
It adds a whole nother layer of loading your ship. This is a gameplay mechanic that I really like and I think adds to the game. But I'm not convinced that this system adds anything to the personal inventory system other than extra time, which is already a big problem with Star Citizen. Much of the time playing the game is just prepping to get to where you want to go, spending anywhere between 20 minutes to an hour just prepping to leave and actually start doing gameplay. Now, for some people, that's a fun experience, but personally, I don't find that the most fun part of Star Citizen. The most fun part of Star Citizen for me is getting into a ship with some friends and doing combat or space combat, ground combat, deliveries, or whatever. Just getting out into the world and doing stuff, not sorting through my inventory and playing Tetris. That is more of a side activity.
Oh, there you go. So you admit that playing Tetris, I mean, it can be fun for the first couple times. It can be fun for the first dozen times if you're really into that. But then it's just a pain in the damn ass. It's insufferable. And to think that you would have to do that all the time now, even with your inventory, more and more added steps. Why? What's the logic besides time sink?
That should occasionally happen, but be a frictionless experience, or at least have the least amount of friction possible. So I think what could happen, or what probably should happen if it were up to me, is that they go back to a paper doll system that's accessed by clicking on one of these inventory screens that you find around that they already built. And I think that would just be a better way to do it. Now, if you were going to come back and say that they want to make this an immersive experience, I would point out that they have already delivered a brand new character creation screen, which is also a paper doll system, and this is the exact system that we're going to see in a released version of Squadron 42. So this is a finished, released product feature that we're going to have in Star Citizen and Squadron. So if we're going to have a paper doll system there, why can't we have one for the inventory system? And I know there's also the aspect of getting this physicalized in our HABs and making HABs more permanent, but I'm not also convinced that the physicalized HABs are going to do anything to make this experience any easier than it is right now. For example, the boxes that contain our armor right now are all universally the same. You can't tell what it is until you click on it. So I don't see that as being faster, more efficient, or even that much more enjoyable. What I'd like, again, to see is for them to go back and rethink the way that this works, but that's just my opinion, man. So if you guys have the same experience as I, having played Evocati right now, please let me know down below. What are your thoughts on this new system? Do you agree with my issues with it? Do you think it could be improved in some way, or do you like it exactly the way it is? Do you think it's way better than what we had before? I want to know. I mean, honestly, everybody's opinion, I think, is important here. This game is still in development, and CIG are listening to feedback. If they don't think a system works, chances are they'll roll it back.
Yeah, no. Look at what happens with master modes. They really have a very clear idea of what they want to do, and that's earning as much money as possible. And for that, they do these things. And I don't think they really care, unless the pushback is enormous. It's huge. That's why I do most of my videos. Most of my videos are calling them out on this sort of crap, because if you don't call them out, and if there's not enough voices calling them out, it just goes. They just let it pass, and they keep on screwing on us up until a point in which we will say, no, I mean, even if I want to play, this is just too terrible. It's not enjoyable anymore, no matter how much potential loss is there. So you have to call them out. You have to point out when they do this sort of crap.
The only thing is, I'm a bit concerned that this one is kind of a big feature that they've been working on for a long time that's taken a lot of man hours that might not actually work the way they thought it would.
Terrible.
So
Terrible.
Let's see what happens. If anybody at CIG has any thoughts on this, about how this can be evolved in the future, what the plans are, maybe this is not the final iteration of the way this is supposed to work, and they have a different idea how to make it smoother and less friction, please let me know, because I'm a bit concerned. Anyway, guys, I've been Morphologist. I hope to see you guys in the next.
Yes, you know why he's concerned? Because he has. I know he's an architect and whatever, but we're all in the same position where it is becoming hard to log in and find something fun to do. And now you're going to be wasting even more time? Are you fucking kidding me? Really? You don't waste enough time? You know what is physicalized? Moving around crap all day long, storing clothes, washing them, fixing crap. Yes, that is realistic. That is physical. You really want to do all of that, or you want to play a game? You have to make up your mind, because if that's what you want to do, then you will make the most boring and sufferable game ever made. If you want to make everything real. You want to make everything real, go out into the real damn world. It is complex and hard enough as it is. We want to play a damn game. And if there's a few components here that is super realistic, fine, fantastic. But you know what? Give me the option of actually wasting the time when I feel like it, or not. Accessing the inventory like in every other damn game in the planet, that is just because it's convenient. Yes, I know that I'm not storing each of my guns in my gun rack. I have real guns, real gun racks, and real safes. You know how much of a pain in the ass it is to move shit around all day long? It is not fun. No one wants to do that in the real world. Why the fuck would I want to do it in a video game? Okay, guys, that's just the way it is. See you on the next video. Take care.